We are gonna have a lot of fun today, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another Build at Home stream. I'm excited because this is the kind of build that I personally just get kind of extra amped for. I love compact builds. I'm one of those people who's like, oh yeah, like that's kind of a cool computer. Oh, it's small? Oh wow, that's a really cool computer. I sure do like, seeing so much performance in something so small. It makes me feel not so insignificant and inadequate myself. Wow, good things really do come in small packages, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what I'm pretty into seeing today. And this is designed to be kind of like well, it was sort of inspired by a build that we had planned to do a long time ago. Jake and I were talking about how actually, oh, yeah, you know what? I think he's pretty public about it. Hopefully it's chill. Jake and I were talking about how we should do the divorced parents build because we've both, how about I'll say this? We've both had some experience in our lives, whether it's personally or friends. See, now I have disclosed absolutely nothing about anyone other than myself. We both have experience with what it's like to have two homes, which is obviously better than no homes. Like it's not like I ever felt not loved or anything like that. But it did mean that, sometimes I wanted to play on my Super Nintendo, which was at my dad's house, and I was at my mom's house. And so, I couldn't play on my Super Nintendo. That's the struggle, right? So this is the computer that those with divorced parents can take with them. All right, so I'm gonna run you guys through the parts list here. Actually, something I've got to do real quick is fire up my my Twitch chat as well, so I can see all the all the. Ooh, that's live. That's live productions for you. All the chats, including the Twitch chat. Awkward. All right, cool. So there, we've got our Twitch chat now as well. Really cool. I'm gonna just switch cameras here. So we're not going full bore on the specs. This is an RTX 2070 Super, but this is not exactly going to be an inexpensive machine, since one of the goals was to have it be like a really, really high performance gaming rig in a tiny case. So the idea here is that you guys could follow along with more down-to-earth hardware, and it would be all the same steps, but it's just you would swap this out for a 2060 Super is like a really good middle ground in terms of price to performance right now. And this is obviously a super, get it, super overbuilt 2070. So we're going with that. Motherboard is another part that I look at and I go, yeah, we could have really gone with something a little lower price than that. So this is an X570i AORUS Pro Wi-Fi. I mean, unless you're overclocking, there's really no like performance benefit to going with a super high-end motherboard. You might get some extra features that you may or may not need. We're gonna find out as we make our way through this build if we're gonna need any of these features, but there you have it. We're using a high-end board anyway. What else we got going on here? Cooling. We're going with the Noctua NH-U12S Chromax Black. So this is the LTT edition. Basically, it's just a really good air cooler, and it's black, so it'll look really nice. We've got a windowed case, so that is worth the extra like $10 to me personally. We're going with a 700 watt power supply. Overkill again, we could easily get away with a 500 or 600 watt, but power supply is one of those things that it's just, oh man, it's the kind of thing that you cheap out on a couple times in your life, and then you don't cheap out on it anymore. The case is one that I'm really stoked on. So this is the TU150 from Lian-Li, and what's special about it is, of course, just listen to that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, that handle. I absolutely love it. So that's what makes this thing portable, because obviously, I mean, any computer, if you're man enough, is portable, right? Oh, why is this not working? There we go. Any computer's portable, right? You pick it up and move it around, no problem. But a handle, that makes it like easily portable. So I'm super amped on that. Naturally, we've gone AMD for our machine. So we've got a 3800X here, And then for RAM, we actually went super over spec on that as well. I mean, it's not wrong to go with 3600 megahertz CL14 memory, but these Trident Z Neo RGB sticks from G.Skill are, you know, they're past the point of diminishing returns a little bit. You know, you could go 3200 CL16 and you'd probably play your, you know, your Valorant or whatever the games the kids are playing these days just fine. For the SSD, we've got an MP600 Gen 4 PCI Express SSD from CORSAIR. No particular reason that we chose this one other than that it was on the shelf, it was there, it was convenient. I mean, there's not really a clear performance benefit to going with a Gen 4 SSD versus a high-performance Gen 3 SSD. And even as we showed in a recent video, if all you're doing is gaming, there's actually just not much benefit to even going NVMe in terms of things you would notice, like game load times. So, you know what, just get the SSD that you feel like looks nice and has a good warranty, has a good reputation for reliability. I'd say that's far more important than the FPS you imagine that you're going to get from upgrading your SSD. So as usual, we're going to start with the, okay, TechFlexer1337. I love your question over on Floatplane, so I'm going to answer it. Asks, how janky is the table setup this time? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Check this out, check this out. So this is one of those, like, I don't want to say the wrong brand. Yeah, Lifetime brand tables from Costco. And because the computer is so small, we actually had it one notch lower when I started this. And that was a lot more stable, but I was really worried about the framing of the video because, like, you guys could basically see down to my junk line, and that was where you were going to have to look the whole time to watch me build the PC. And so I was like, oh, is there another notch on this thing? Because it really didn't look like there was another notch. And it turns out there was, but it is not real stable. It's just going to make for a bit more of a comfortable viewing experience, so I opted to go that route. In terms of motherboard accessories that we're going to need, the only thing that might come in handy for us here is, this, you know what? I think it's a range issue. Yeah, it is too. All right, trying to change my scenes. The one thing we might need is this thermal pad. That might come in handy for our SSD if we end up having to strip the outer parts off of it. It's possible too that this SSD does not have an OS preloaded on it, in which case I'm just going to end up swapping it out for something that already has an OS anyway so that we can fire the machine up. Let's go ahead and start loading things onto our motherboard then. So we'll take a quick tour of our board. This is about as over the top as it gets for a mini ITX AMD board. Again, it's just the kind of thing that makes me real happy, just seeing this much performance in this small of a space. So I lied on the last one of these streams that I did. I said that ASUS, I had heard, had some kind of like patent on built-in I/O shields. I was completely wrong, obviously. Some of you corrected me in the comments, but here you go. Here's a non-ASUS board that has that feature. Let's go ahead and have a look at what else we've got. Super beefy VRMs with, does this have active cooling on the VRMs as well? No, I don't actually see a fan in there. It's just got a really big heatsink on it. 8-pin power connector right up here. We've got active cooling though. This is great. So we've got active cooling for both the chipset and our NVMe M.2 SSD over here. Only 2 memory slots. That's something that you're going to run into with basically any ITX board. And then other than that, it's just loaded up. So here's our onboard audio. Here's our PCI Express 16X slot. We'll use that for our graphics card. Let's see. Yeah, there's another M.2 slot on the back. So we've actually got 2 of those. Over here on the front, we've got 4 SATA, USB 3, front panel audio, front panel USB, front panel connectors. Front panel audio is over there. Got our 24-pin connector. Like basically every square centimeter of this board is loaded up with something. Let's do our CPU installation first here. Now, oh man, see, it's hard to classify this build because it's not the best value thing ever because we went kind of over the top on the power supply and motherboard, but it's also not just completely ridiculous either. So for CPU, we went with a Ryzen 7 3800X. So, you know, it's not crazy town. We're not going like 12 cores or 16 cores or anything totally nutty like that. But 8 high performance cores, pretty much all that you would need for the vast majority of your gaming or even mid-range content creation needs. I don't know why I switched back to this angle, because we're going to go ahead and install this in the socket right now. Where's my little triangle? I don't know where AMD gets off, making the golden triangle even smaller than like ever before these days. All right, let's go ahead and line that up. By the way, another thing that someone jumped in and corrected me on our last stream was the orientation of the text. I was like, hey, look, they always put the socket on the motherboard the same way. Why don't they just make it so the text is right side up when you hold the motherboard right side up? And they were like, actually, the text is right side up relative to the socket. So there you go. Now we know. Isn't that fun? Let's go ahead and lower that arm and get that processor installed there. You know, that's the thing, is no matter how long I spend doing this stuff, I never stop learning, which is what makes it fun. I mean, if there was nothing left to learn and there was nothing new, then how would you stay passionate about it? That's the greatest thing about technology, isn't it? It's great. There's always something fun and new to try. And yes, this memory is 3600 CL14. That is contributing a significant amount of our budget, and like I said before, is not necessarily something that I would recommend. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get that installed. Angle 2. This is unlikely to get in our way, so I am going to go ahead and put it in now. Oh, that's interesting. You don't actually see that very often on consumer boards anymore. Tabs on both sides of the memory slot. All right, so these only go in one way, naturally. But one of those, and one of those. Dasso over on Floatplane says, thinking of a similar build with a 3900X for my CAD work. One thing I would ask you, if you're going to build a machine that is for, you know, doing serious work and it's going to be heavily loaded a lot of the time, is do you really need it to be that small? Because there's 2 things that you compromise when you go small. Actually, well, a number of things you compromise when you go small. You compromise your future expansion. Let's say that you were to come across, you know, some, who knows, an accelerator card that you need, or something along those lines. All of a sudden, you know, that new technology that comes, you know, let's say 5 years from now, you've got some AI accelerator card that you want to add to your system. You're not going to have an available expansion slot for it. The other thing is noise. No matter how hard we try, we're never going to be able to make a small form factor machine quite as quiet as a larger machine can be, because you can get those nice, large, low RPM fans. You can get those nice, big pumps. You could have multiple pumps and turn the RPM way down. Basically, the lower you turn everything, the quieter it's going to be, even if you have to add more of them in order to get the cooling capacity that you need. So you're going to give up some noise. And from my experience, although I will say this is mostly geared towards laptops, the reliability of super compact machines has not generally been as good as when the manufacturers give themselves a little bit more room to work with. I'm trying to get the Wifi's attention. Oh, wait. I thought I needed thermal compound, but I actually realized that I do not, in fact, need thermal compound because it should be in the box for my cooler. If you guys ordered one of the Chromax black air coolers that Noctua recently released, if you ordered one right out of the gate, you would have actually been treated to one of these. This is an LTT edition of it, and I really am having a hard time with my switcher here. Hello, there it is. All right, cool. We got no technical issues on this stream today, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Yeah, you would have been treated to an LTT edition. It's basically the same as the regular one, except there's an LTT logo there. There's an LTT logo there. Let me see if there's any other differences. I don't know if this orange accent is on the box for the non-LTT edition. Oh yeah, it says Linus Tech Tips edition, includes extra orange anti-vibration pads. And I think I might have spoiled the surprise a little bit, because that's basically it. It includes some orange pads. Now the good news is that it didn't actually cost any extra. This was just a deal that we worked out with Noctua where we said like, look, we love your products and we want to do like, we want to work together. Noctua doesn't really do like traditional marketing. So basically we put together this plan where we were like, okay, let's do an LTT edition, but let's not make it like, let's treat it more like you guys are doing, you know, marketing with us rather than we mark up the product and we take like the extra profit. Let's just kind of do it more like a marketing exercise. Let's launch it together. Because I had been asking them for so long for a black heatsink version of their products. So basically you just get the orange things, you get this. I don't even know why I'm promoting this right now because it's not like you can buy one now. You get this little card. Look at that, it's all silvery and fun. Partnerships in the PC industry. This is my little letter that I wrote, okay, to include in the box. Partnerships in the PC industry develop in many ways, sometimes through doing business together, sometimes as friends, and sometimes simply out of respect. And it's the last one that led to the product you're holding in your hands today. Oh, wow, really? I'm excited. I've always had the deepest respect for Noctua's unwavering dedication to ease of use, quality, and performance. I'm just not a big fan of their original color scheme. So with that in mind, I'm incredibly excited to be partnering with them to launch the Chromax black versions of some of their most legendary coolers. I know you'll love them as much as I do. And I wrote the little thing, and look, it's even like signed. But that's fake, that's fake. It's a printed signature. Sorry to ruin the illusion here, guys. It's a printed signature. Apparently they still have a few of the LTT editions on eBay. I actually did not know that, and I can't verify that, but Samuel over on Floatplane Chat went ahead and threw that in the chat there, so maybe they held a few of them in reserve. I know the plan was for them to just, it wasn't priced higher, they just sold the first, I forget how many it was, but it was some thousands of units. The first ones went out with the cool packaging, and then they just kind of replaced it with the regular ones after the fact. All right. Wow, I really hope this fits in here. If Jake boned me on another cooler not fitting, Jake put together the parts list for this one. I really hope that if this doesn't fit, I have some kind of alternative here. Let's go ahead and we're gonna do a quick test, because if I have to have Matthias like jump in the work truck and head over here with another cooler, now's the time to do it, not when I actually really need to install the cooler. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure how to take the side panel. Okay, that's apparently how you do it. You just pop it off. You got those little poppers. Let's see if I can get you a look at that. Yeah, there you go. You got those little like nipple things that go into the little housing thingamadoodads. All right, let's drop that down there. Okay, please tell me this is going to fit. Oh, that actually looks quite promising. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. What do you think, guys? Does that look like it's gonna fit? Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. All right, I've got high hopes. I've got high hopes. We're not gonna drop Matthias a line just yet. Let's go ahead and throw it on the motherboard then. One of my favorite things about Noctua's coolers, it's like, yeah, performance, that's important, but it's also not necessarily the only important thing. Their mounting mechanism is just awesome. It's just simple, you know? All you need is these top, oh wait, oh, we're on AMD. I am less familiar with their AMD mounting mechanism. Manual time. Look, in my defense, for a lot of years, the AMD mounting mechanism was not super relevant, okay? Here we go. AMD mounting mechanism. Hey, there you got your AMD mounting bars. You got your 4 NM whatever. You got your 4 gray spacers for AM4, and then they've got white spacers for AMD's other sockets. All right, and then you need your 4 NM ALS1 screws. All right, so we're gonna assume that that's all this stuff right here. We just don't need the, well, not really white, they're more like a cream colored spacer. Apparently we have love hugged Noctua's website to death. Sorry, Noctua. You know, love you, fam, but you guys got to get a better website, because this happens every bloody time we shout you out on stream. Your site goes down, and then And then customers can't buy your cool stuff, and there's nothing I can really do about that. You just gotta embrace the bad things and learn from them and change. You gotta get a better website. It's okay, don't worry. They're mechanical and thermal engineers, not. Whoa, hey, got a thing that fell over there. Not website engineers, so you can't really hold it against them too hard. All right. Dang it, guys. Oh. Kababin Genius over on Floatplane says, hey, Linus, what kind of cooler would you recommend for a CPU around 300 watts? An air conditioner hooked up to a chilled water loop. That would be my ideal. And failing that, I guess you could go with custom water cooling. That would be your best bet right about there. All right, let's have a look here. So we need, whoops, I'm just kind of guessing here. I didn't really look very carefully at the instructions. So I think you just put the little plastic things on top of the little nipples from the stock back plate. All right, then I think you just pop this bad boy right on top. And we want the number 4. Yep, 4 for AM4. I'm guessing, but that's got to be it. That's like exactly Noctua type thinking right there. Can't just put AM4 on it. But you don't call it, 1 and 2, because there's only, 2 sets of holes, right? You call it 4 and 3 for like, AM4 and AM3 or less. That's my guess. Yep. Yeah, grins and smiles. I don't know how to pronounce you guys' usernames. You guys are killing me here. You got to get easier to pronounce usernames, all of you. There we go. All right, that's pretty straightforward. One thing that kind of blows about AMD having a rectangular socket arrangement for mounting hole arrangement for their socket is that it doesn't give you as much flexibility when you're building to decide which way you want your cooler oriented. And they had an opportunity here where they made this like small change for AM4. Like it wasn't a huge change. They just moved the holes a little bit. They had an opportunity to just make a big change. Like if you're going to kill compatibility anyway, why not just kill it, for reals, and then give us a square pattern so that we have a choice for how we want to mount our coolers. I don't know. I would, in a perfect world, I'd love to see AMD and Intel both just use the same hole patterns, but I don't think that will ever happen. I couldn't imagine them coordinating. I mean, for a little while there, they were at least using the same naming schemes for their sockets. AMD jumped in with their X399, kind of cutting off Intel's flexibility in terms of naming their future sockets without making them sound like, an old AMD one. Let's go ahead and get our thermal compound on. Some people pointed out that I did not put thermal compound on the build last time around. That was because I was using a stock cooler and I didn't need it. So here I'm going to put, with an AMD CPU, we're going to put kind of like a bigger glob than we would on an Intel one, just because they are physically a little bit larger. And because they use chiplets, some of the dies are actually quite spread out under there, unlike an Intel chip where, everything you have to cool is actually in this little tiny contact patch right here. Field Jenny J says Intel has a patent on square mounting holes. I sincerely doubt that. I mean, honestly speaking, nothing would surprise me that much when it comes to just nonsense that's patented, but I really doubt that one. Hey Linus, did you hear anything from Thermosiphon? No, I don't. Well, okay, Alex would be the person to ask about that because he was the one who worked with them on that project. But as far as I know, we don't really have any kind of update for you guys. I mean, the thing is, like, we don't mind showing off a prototype product like that when it's just got some really cool engineering behind it and there's no sales pitch. Like, they weren't pitching like, hey, back our Kickstarter. Because that's where we start to get a little bit uncomfortable, like when we're selling you guys something based on claims that we can't verify. But if they're just like, hey, yeah, we've got some really cool engineering and we're working on this thing and we want to show like our cool engineering we did, we're a lot more comfortable with that. So that's why we were willing to do a video about that product, even though there was no hint of availability. We got burned not doing enough due diligence on the Kalios fanless case. That was an example of a time when we were representing something as a product that was going to come to market, because as far as we could tell, it was. And then it never ended up coming to market, but they actually did take money from people. So we learned our lesson from that. And with the thermosiphon, we were just like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna sell it, but we're gonna say like, hey, here's this prototype and it's super cool. And if you guys ever have a finished product, we'd love to do a review of it. But that was all that we were really comfortable doing. All right, let's go ahead and get this cooler installed. So again, oh man, it's so beautifully simple. So there you go. You just line up the screws with those pegs. So simple, and you can have one because their site's down. I don't know why everyone goes to their site anyway. Why are you going to knock to his website? Just go to like, you know, the paid link in our video description. Man, affiliate rates are taking a beating as part of the coronavirus fallout. Like, to be clear, I ain't complaining. At least I'm not in the oil biz. You guys had your eye on that over the last little bit? It's crazy. It's crazy. What was it, a couple days ago? Oil dipped below free? Like you had to pay to get rid of your oil? It's nuts. It's madness. But this is, you know, it's obviously having an effect on our business as well. I don't think anyone's coming out of this coronavirus thing completely unscathed. I mean, even, you know, Zoom. Look at Zoom. So yeah, they got a big uplift in people, you know, interested in their product and using their product, but then they got some really negative PR out of it because all of a sudden everyone's using their product and there's a bunch of security vulnerabilities that are coming to light and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's having some kind of negative effect on basically everybody. Yeah, minus, what's K-Master? Yeah, minus $30 for a barrel of oil. I had Jono from my team. He messages me that day. He's like, yo, Linus, you want to get into the oil storage business? Maybe we could set aside some space in the warehouse. Just keep some barrels of oil in there. I'm like, huh, no. If we're talking like storing, you know, lithium batteries, you know, whoa, now you might have my attention. But yeah, oil, man. I don't think it's ever coming back the way it was. Like, to be clear, I expect it to get better than it is right now. You know, once people are driving and stuff. Honestly, it's been crazy. Like being in almost complete self-isolation. Like I've gone out to go shopping and like I go out on bike rides as long as I'm maintaining my social distancing and all that good stuff. But I've been to the office. Like, even though I've been symptom-free for quite some time, I've only ended up going to the office a couple times over the last little bit because I've had someone in my house or other. I think there was like 2 colds in my house basically when this thing started, and they've been kind of like passed around. So right now, a couple of my kids are coughing. So I'm sitting here going, well, okay, there are certain things I need to go into the office to do. So I went in to film like a couple of tech quickies. But like I walked in, everyone gave me like a 5-meter radius, filmed my things, and then left. So I've only been to the office a couple times in the last like month. Like I've been working at home for a month now. And it's crazy. I get behind the wheel of my car and I'm like, wow, I don't miss this at all. I'm actually kind of concerned. My Volt has had the same gas in it for, like I already only fill my tank once every month or two, because I do most of my driving on electric. So it's got like 2-month-old gas in it. I'm gonna have to throw some fuel stabilizer in there because it's got like a full tank of gas, which on the Volt is not a ton of gas, but it doesn't matter how much it is. If you've got expired, you know, stale gas in your tank, you're gonna have a real super bad time. Prag says, check if the cooler fits the case before installing the GPU. That's a darn good point. Why don't we go ahead and do a quick sanity check here, all right? What angle am I at? That's fine. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Go ahead and pop this up. So what we're hoping is that this, you know what? I think we're good. I actually think we're good because this looks like a 140mm fan mount. So let's go ahead and pop that on there. If it was a 120, I think we'd be in trouble. But the fact that it's a 140 means we've got an extra 2 centimeters. And this is only a 120mm cooler. And there you go. You got your little heat pipe knobblies sticking out of the top there. And that's where you sometimes run into trouble with cases with a rear 120mm fan where they try and keep it as slim as possible. But I think we're going to be good here. Hold on. I just got to get this power cord out of my way. There we go. All right, quick test fit time. Oh yeah, we're good. We got tons of room in there. All right, all good. Good work, Jake. I knew you had my back. I never doubted for a moment. It's not like there's going to be live evidence that I doubted you for a moment. That doesn't exist. Oh, one more thing we can do before going any farther is let's go ahead and get that M.2 drive installed. Now, one thing that's a little bit tricky actually is, oh here, I'm going to toss this down since I'm done with it. If I do end up needing to throw a different M.2 in here because this one doesn't have an OS on it, I don't know if I'm going to have access to that mount on the back. Oh, you know what? I think I actually might even. Oh, that would be super cool if this had a big enough like CPU opening to install an M.2. Ooh, that is really, really close. I'm not sure. I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, that is super close. Here, I'll try and get you guys a better look at that. There we go. So you can see here, there's the mounting slot for it. There you go, that's a better angle. There's the mounting slot for it, so I might be able to kind of slip a drive in there. It's one that doesn't have a heatsink on it, so it's a little bit easier to mount. And then that screw is gonna be like right there. Like I could take it out, but if I drop it down there, it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to get out and stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Awesome. Well, now we're pretty much, oh, right, no, I need to go ahead and actually do the thing that I had just said I was gonna do. Let's get our drive installed. Oh, you know what? I kind of like this better without the case back there, taking up all my frame and stuff. There we go. All right. I'd really wanted to have the webcam again so that I could get close-ups with that, just kind of handheld, but I'm not going to drop anything, Matthew Tech Guy. Some tech guy you are. Don't even know that I never drop stuff. Man, YouTube chat moves so fast. I just can't even, when I'm looking over at it, I can't even. Avery says, do heat sinks matter for M.2 drives? That is a wonderful, wonderful, excellent question. There is some debate as to how much they matter, as to whether they matter, and I think everyone agrees they don't matter much. So in cases where your M.2 is super overheated, like you're putting it under a lot of strain and it has basically no airflow, you can actually experience throttling from the controller. So there's two main components to, well, three main components to an M.2 SSD. There's the controller, there's the DRAM cache, and then there's the Nand Flash. So the controller is kind of like, you could think of it as the CPU of the M.2 drive. And that can experience thermal throttling. So that you want to make sure is cooled well enough. The DRAM cache, that also doesn't want to be any hotter than it has to be. I don't know that there's any real evidence that it can thermal throttle and affect performance, because the only way for your DRAM to be too hot would be for your controller to also be too hot, because you're in a no airflow situation. But wait, let's go. Yeah, there we go. But I mean, obviously, DRAM doesn't want to be any hotter than it absolutely has to be. So where you really run into trouble then is when you don't have the mounting screw for your M.2. Sorry, I'm trying to talk through the components of an M.2 drive while also looking for my mounting hardware that I need. It's fine, I'll borrow the one from the back. Right, so the last main component is the Nand Flash. So you've got your processor, you've got the cache for the processor, and then you've got the flash, which is actually the mass storage. So you could think of an M.2 SSD as kind of like a mini computer in a certain way. You know, you've got your CPU, you've got your RAM, which the CPU stores its frequently used information in, and then you've got your storage, which would be your hard drive or your SSD. Well, this is kind of like a mini computer. So the Nand Flash actually does not benefit from cooling, and if you cool it too much, it can negatively impact its life cycle. So you need to find this, it's not about, you know, is it good to cool your M.2 SSD? It's about sort of how much should you cool your M.2 SSD? Because if you do it too much, it can have a negative impact, and if you do it not enough, then it can also have a negative impact. So I would say that, you know, whatever the cooling that it ships with is probably the correct cooling to use for it. All right, so let's go ahead and get this puppy mounted. I think this might end up being a little bit tricky. Sometimes it can be sort of more of a pain in the butt than not for manufacturers to ship these giant heat sinks on them. So we just go ahead and pop that in there. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that. This is one of those situations where I wish I had that alternate angle, but then I'm going to take this little tiny screw that I borrowed from the back, and then I'm going to have to borrow a screw from my test bench motherboard, which is on the dresser in my bedroom if I end up having to put a different SSD in here. That would be very inconvenient. Then you go ahead and put this here, and that looks like it is not going to go down. You know what I'm kind of curious about? I wonder if I could just lay it on top, basically. Is it going to grab? Hey, now we get the heatsink and the fan. Is that going to be too much cooling? See, this is what I was just talking about. Yeah, I don't think that's going to fit anyway. Okay, fine. Well, here's our problem. We can't get rid of the fan. Like, I can't just take this off and not mount it and go, oh, well, you know what, this has got a big heatsink on it, so I don't really need the cooling fan anyway, because that cooling fan is cooling more than just the SSD. The motherboard chipset is in there, and X570 really does benefit from active cooling. And then I can't easily get rid of this, so you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to take a very short break, and I'm just going to run and get that drive. I'm just trying to remember where it is. I'm having a bit of a panic moment here. Where is that drive? Okay, run away. Maybe I can, oh, you know what? I'm going to grab like a chat comment or something to talk to you guys about. Let's see. Fan, wrong side of CPU cooler. Yes, you're right. Not necessarily wrong side, but I do need to reorient it. It's got to go the other way so that it's exhausting out the case. I did notice that. Don't worry, I got this. Let's see. Any good questions here? Tom Zuki says, didn't Der Bauer come to the conclusion that X570 doesn't actually need the active cooling? I believe I did see Roman do some investigation there. Thing is, the kind of validation that they do on something like a CPU or a chipset at the manufacturer level is not like, hey, is this going to work for a year or 2 years or 3 years? It's like, hey, we took 100 of these or 1,000 of these and we ran them in an artificially stressed, thermally stressful situation, and we kept track of the rate at which they failed over time, and we have determined that you know, this is the temperature that it needs to run at in order to achieve you know, this mean time between failure. It's a very different type of validation. So Roman is probably right that your motherboard will probably be fine if you don't have any active cooling on the chipset, but he does not necessarily have all of the context that the manufacturer would have for, in a sample size of 1,000 or 10,000, what the real failure rates might look like over 3, 5, 10, 15 years. So this is one of those things where enthusiasts will tend to come up with their own answers to questions like, how much voltage is safe for a Core i7 4770K? And in general, that answer might be just fine for you, the other enthusiast who realistically is going to pass that computer along to a friend or a little sibling after 2 to 3 years anyway. But the manufacturers have a reason for having the answers that they do, and I tend to trust the engineering that's done by companies like AMD or Intel over sort of enthusiast general wisdom, even if it is from someone as knowledgeable as Roman and as methodical as Roman. So there, that's my take on that. If every X570 motherboard has active cooling on it, you know, it's not like AMD, Gigabyte, ASUS, MSI. It's not like these guys are idiots. It's not like they don't know that consumers prefer passive cooling solutions. Like, we got away from active cooling solutions 15 years ago. And there's a reason for it. Nobody liked it. These little fans have a tendency to fail. They're the loudest part of a system. There's a reason. We didn't want that. So if they're bringing it back, my best assumption is that we are doing that for a reason and not for lulls. There, that's my take on that. I think a couple people are confused by who I mean by Roman. So Roman is the real name of Der Bauer. So he's a German extreme overclocker, tinkerer, enthusiast extraordinaire. He's also quite active on YouTube. Hi, can I help you? Oh, I would love to have food, but I am building a computer right now, and people get mad when I eat on stream. So it's like I'll just starve. I will starve for my art. All right, let's go ahead and prep the case. Oh, hey, almost forgot there. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to go, yeah, we're just going to be lazy and we're going to go this side. I had thought I might turn it around and have it pull air through the heatsink just because that's a little bit easier to clean. I always recommend a pull configuration when you can, just because, here, I'll show you guys what I mean. So here's our heatsink, here's the back of the case, right? If we have our fan mounted here and we're pushing through it, that tends to be where the dust accumulates on the surface where the air comes through it. So now if I want to clean my heatsink, I have to take off my fan, clean it, put my fan back on. If I mount it here, pulling air through, well then I just get the cat hair off my heatsink, throw it in the garbage, and I actually do nothing else. So that's why I tend to prefer that, but I'm being lazy right now. That is the only reason that I'm mounting this in push. Because I am doing a do as I say, not as I do moment. All right, that's on there pretty good. Making sure that spins. Wow, they really did nail the spacing on this board. Look at that memory module. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is right next to that fan. There's like maybe a millimeter. I think it's a full millimeter in between this fan and this memory module. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. YouTube chat's like, eat, you too skinny. No, it's fine. It's fine. I got this. It's all good. Let me just throw my extra accessories here. I'm practicing some of what I preach today. Whenever you've got extra stuff when you're building a system, just go ahead and throw it in there. Oh, thought I saw someone asking, oh, hey, what SSD did you end up putting in there? It's just one of Sabrent's Rocket PCIe Gen 3 ones. It's just the one that I have on my test bench because they shipped us a bunch of them, and they're like 4 terabytes, which is super handy because it means I can have all of my test applications and all that good stuff on there. Oh no! Oh, one small oversight. This is something that I feel like Mac people rightly mock us PC people for. Just the way that intercompatibility between all our different hardware leads to just dumb stuff like completely inactive ports on our computers. So this case has a USB Type-C front port here, and it's got that newfangled USB Type-C internal connector. And it's not a Type-C, it's this guy right here, this connector right here. And unfortunately, my motherboard doesn't have one of these. Oh man. Oh well, not the end of the world. It's still got a couple USB 3s. It's just kind of lame. It's just a little lame. All right, power supply time. Let's see, what do you guys got? Could you run the CORSAIR one without a heatsink with the active cooling? Yes, I could. It would just take longer. And then I would have to put it back together when I'm done to return it to inventory. And that would be just sort of 15 minutes of my life that I would never get back, disassembling and then reassembling that heatsink on that SSD. I wish I had a cooler, sexier answer to that question, but that really is the real reason. Indy260 says, would you consider this a good time to build a PC or a laptop? I am so glad you asked that because we've actually got a video coming very soon exploring whether right now is an amazing time to buy a laptop, because it might just be. Between AMD just launching Ryzen 4000, which I hate calling it because it's desktop Ryzen 3000. It's Zen 2, but they've just moved a generation ahead on mobile because branding. So between AMD launching Zen 2 on mobile, maybe that's what I'll just call it, and NVIDIA launching their new super mobile graphics cards, there is just a ton of mobile performance out there for very reasonable prices. Like, we've got a video coming on an RTX 2060 equipped gaming laptop, and I mean the new 2060, so it's super weird. Hey, get it? They launched their 2070 Super, so that is actually like a different branding on the GPU than their 2070, and then they launched a new 2060, but they're not calling it Super. It's almost like they don't want you to think it's too good or something, but it's actually faster than the old 2060. So anyway, and it's cheaper. So the new 2060 is faster and cheaper. So you can get 2060 equipped gaming laptops for like $1,000 US, which is still a lot of money to be very clear, but that's a lot of gaming for $1,000 in a mobile system. Like, that's the thing you guys got to remember is mobile used to be just incredibly expensive and performance that sucked. And that whole paradigm has shifted so much over the last few years. Like, realistically, ever since NVIDIA launched their 900 series mobile, where it was basically just desktop parts in laptops, the game changed. Still expensive, but at least the performance is there now. Like, going back really far, you know, like 7900 series mobile cards is bad. Like, they were slow. Like a 7900 was like a 7600 desktop part, you know? And sold for, well, like top tier price levels. All right, so here's where we're installing our SFX-L power supply, modular interface. Doing the intake on the bottom just because there is a little bit of space on the top. We technically could have an intake there, but I really don't see any purpose to doing that. Oh, the front fell off. How about that? That's nice. Well, we're just going to put that aside for now. And then we're just going to screw that in from the back. Jake M, I just bought a laptop for portability and now I have nowhere to take it. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's obviously a first world problem, but it's like still kind of a downer. AM800 Matt says, when is RTX 3000 coming, do you think? You know, I try not to participate too much in the whole rumor mill. When is the next part coming? My general approach is, unless we've got some really solid like hardware leaks. So unless, you know, all of a sudden there's pictures of boards, that tells you it's like weeks away usually, or at the most like a month or two. Unless we're there, I tend to kind of go, you know what, buy what you can afford, you know, buy whatever price point it is you were looking at, get the best thing that you can for that price, and don't you stress too much about that. That's kind of my approach. Like, if we're real close, yeah, don't be dumb, you know, make sure you're getting the most for your money, but everyone wants to have the best crystal ball, and at the end of the day, you know, crystal ball is still just balls, you know? All right, we're going to go ahead and plug in our rear power. We're going to flip that on now. Actually, we're not going to, yes, we're going to flip that on now because I'm not going to plug it into the wall anyway. So you can see this case has that kind of pass-through power. So you've got your plug-in from the back, and then there's an AC power cord that runs through a channel up here over to here. That's how we actually get power to the power supply, even though it's like a mid-mount, an internal mount. All right, that was simple. Power supply's in. Now we can go ahead and throw, let's throw the motherboard in. I'm going to attempt a standing up install so that you guys can see it a little bit better. Let's have a look at what hardware we got in here. New channel, Linus Beard Tips. Oh, I'm not in a position to give any tips on beards. I'm a beard novice. I'm still learning the ways of the beard. I'm still not 100% on keeping it though. And that's not to like fish for compliments. I have definitely gotten enough compliments on the beard. I get it. You guys like it. I'm just not 100% because my kids don't really like it that much. They say Daddy is scratchy. So that's a fair point. You know, you can't really argue with that. Priorities, right? All right, let's go ahead and pop this in here. So something you guys may or may not have noticed about this case is it's actually DTX. So it's a little bit on the bigger side compared to some ITX cases because it's got 3 slots down here. So DTX motherboards can have up to 2 PCI Express slots on them, but as far as I know, I'm just trying to think. There's not too many DTX boards in general, but some of them anyway don't even bother putting both slots on. They just use the extra board space to, you know, put more components onto the PCB because you're not going to be able to install more than 1 graphics card in it anyway because they're all dual slot these days. But what this would theoretically allow for is a DTX board with the 16X slot on the bottom. You could have your dual slot cooler there pulling fresh air in from this vented bottom, and then you could actually have a second card installed in the top for like high-speed networking or like a VR wireless adapter or something along those lines. I've actually got yet another upgrade to my living room VR setup planned. I know I said last time, you know, this was the upgrade, but I may have been wrong. I might be going at it again, just because I've found myself a little bit limited by ITX. There's a few things, there's actually a handful of things that I want to put in it. I want to have the option to at least tool around with wireless VR if I want, so I would need to be able to put in a card for that. I want to be able to put high-speed networking into it if I want. I don't know, I might not bother with the high-speed networking, especially because 2.5 gig is going to come soon enough on motherboards that are at price points that make any sense. But the big one is that I've been having a lot of issues with full body tracking in VR. And so the way full body tracking works is you've got your headset that tracks your head. So the way full body tracking works is you're trying to replace or you're trying to put a virtual camera into the VR environment, and then you're trying to have an avatar that represents your body and where it is and how it's moving. So it's really easy to do your hands and your head because you're holding these controllers and you're wearing a headset and these things are all tracked. But if you only track your hands and your head, then the bottom of the body, like it can move around, and you've probably seen this if you've ever played a game in VR where you move around and like looked down. Like the legs just kind of like they kind of just move around kind of weirdly, right? It's not natural. So if you want natural movement, you need at least 3 more trackers. You need one on your like hips, on your back, like kind of, it's somewhere between hips and waist, like it's right kind of there in the small of your back, and then you need 2 on your feet, because as long as your avatar is built correctly, like anatomically correctly, however your feet move, it will bend the joints in such a way that that's where your foot could be if your hip was also here. Like it gives it enough information. And I've had a really hard time getting full body tracking working, and a lot of the troubleshooting steps that I have found seem to suggest that the Vive Tracker 2.0s that I have trouble with certain, like trying different USB ports or different chipsets might help. And I found information that seems to suggest that as media chipsets don't do very well with these trackers, but I haven't found anything about AMD chipsets because it hasn't been until the last, really 6 months that an AMD processor has been the ideal choice for VR gaming. So there's just not a lot of information, and it's already like a niche within a niche, right? VR is a niche, and then people who are interested in full body tracking is a niche, and then you've got a third niche, people who upgrade their computers frequently enough that they've done it in the last 6 months, and then you've got a fourth niche, AMD gamers. So you've got this these Venn diagrams or these Venn circles, and you've got this like tiny overlap in the middle, and it's like me. So I can't find this information to determine if it's the USB controller, and it's not convenient for me to swap out the motherboard to find out if that's going to make it work. So I'd love to have the flexibility to be able to just throw a USB controller card in the thing and try that as a solution to why my trackers are kind of drifting around. I'm starting to think that that's not the solution anyway, though, just because I moved I used USB extensions to move the receivers a little bit closer to where I typically stand, and the drifting is still there, but it's gotten a little bit better, which seems to suggest to me that it's more about the lighthouses being able to see the trackers without any occlusion, like you know, an elbow in the way of the hip one or whatever else the case may be, and less of an issue of communication between the tracker dongles and the USB ports. So unfortunately, extra lighthouses have been out of stock for weeks from Valve, and so I've just been kind of in limbo on that project, which I've really wanted to do because it's fun. I enjoy streaming VR, and but I don't like setting up a camera in my living room just because it's a hassle. I've only got the one webcam at home, and I always have to drag it upstairs for WAN show so that Luke has a video feed of me in addition to the video feed that I'm broadcasting. And then I have to take it downstairs and set it up and run it. It's kind of hard to get at the USB ports behind my TV, and the cable's not long enough to run to the front, and blah, 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 blah. So it's just kind of a hassle. And I'd really like to be able to just use Live and full body tracking. Kai Hong 10 says, Linus, when are you going to stream VR badminton? I did see that game. That would actually be kind of fun because I have a half-court space in my garage that I actually like even put down lines for and everything. So if I moved, so I reached out to Valve to get more lighthouses. When they arrive, maybe I could set up a temporary play space in my garage and play that VR badminton game. I heard it's terrible, like just abominable. Apparently, no matter how big your play space is, it still kind of dynamically scales the court as you're moving. It's like super weird, so you might mess up your muscle memory and stuff. And from watching some gameplay of it, it really does not seem designed for advanced players at all. So my hopes are not high whatsoever. AM800 Matt says, do you think a 970 can handle VR or any games at high preset? Well, yeah, of course. It depends, right? Like you go back and you look at reviews of the 970 when it launched. I'm sure they were running plenty of games at high preset. They're just games from back then, right? And I mean, these days, so many new games even are designed to run on older hardware. Like look at Valorant. It's not like it's particularly demanding. Sorry, I should be showing you guys what I'm doing. I'm wiring up the power supply here. So I put in our 24 pin. I actually connected that to the motherboard already. I took our, so we've got an 8 and 8, so these are two 6+2 PCI Express connectors. Oh man, it's really hard for you guys to see that, I'm sorry. Yep, there we go. So I've got two 6+2 PCI Express connectors, so those are wired into another one of the modular ports on my power supply, and then the last one, I think the last one I'm gonna need, right here, is a 4+4, so that's gonna handle our 8-pin connector on the motherboard. I'm just gonna go ahead and plunk that in up there. There we go. Modular power supply, that's really not necessary. It's just a nice to have. Go ahead and, yeah, really wish I had done this earlier. That is not that easy to get at. But hey, it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a little bit challenging, right? The biggest thing Valorant demands is kernel access. Mr. McGoffin over on Floatplane. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, that's the thing about anti-cheat. Like, yeah, it's all pretty intrusive. You know, if it's not intrusive to your computer, it's intrusive to like just your life in general. It's annoying. Yeah, I don't have a good response to that. I have not actually played the game. I'm sure it's fun. I've seen some of the guys at work. Colton's been playing it basically constantly as far as I can tell. I'm not sure when he gets any work done. Now, that's the thing about work from home, you know, I can't make sure they're not all just playing Valorant all day. Colton, are you playing Valorant right now? Huh? Colton? Are you? He's not. I'm sure he's not. He was getting me the Amazon and Newegg paid links for the description of this video. Oh, shoot. That's not how I should have done this. I should be using the cable management holes, guys. Gotta use my cable management holes. What am I, crazy? All right, here we go. Well, that's okay, because I've already got it plugged into the motherboard, which is the hard part. So I'm just going to pass this through. This is one of my tricks that I often use on build guides where I have like a lot of time to think about how I'm going to structure the video instead of just doing it live. Is I'll plug the modular cables into the motherboard first, and then I will run them to the power supply after the fact, because it actually is a little bit easier to get at the power supply in some cases. In this case, it's especially easy. It's like right here. All right, so there you go. There's our 24 pin, there's our 8 pin, there's our dual 8 pins, other more different 8 pins. There we go. Might put like one cable tie there, just kind of tie that up. Dang, are we close? We gotta do our front panel connectors here. All right, so let's do our USB 3. Not USB 3.1, you know, Type C, just the regular USB 3. I wish I could give you guys a bit of a better look at that, but I guess you're gonna, oh, you know what I could do? Here's an idea. Oof. I'm just gonna put this up here. Hey, there we go. And when we're trying to look at the bottom of the case, a little bit easier. Gotta be real careful with that front USB 3 connector. Those pins are super fragile. Just give it like a really gentle little wiggle to make sure it's in the right spot, and then press down. Otherwise, you can mash those pins in there, and let me tell you, it is not a lot of fun to bend them back. I guess I will just leave my Type C USB connector hidden back here. We'll not be needing that, unfortunately. Front panel audio. I'm not sure if this is going to be long enough. So front panel audio is traditionally over on the bottom left edge of the board. Let's just, oh yeah, no, it looks like we're going to be good. Yeah, no problem. Easy peasy. That's a really straightforward build so far. That's okay though, there's plenty of time for things to go wrong. Ugh. All right, cool. Hey, there we go. Front panel connectors. I hope they're labeled. It drives me absolutely nuts when they're not labeled on the board because there's just no reason for it. And they're not labeled on the board. In fairness, they're color-coded. So as long as I can remember what Gigabyte's color coding is, that helps a little bit. But you're already silk screening the board, so why not just silk screen that? In fairness to them, there's really not a lot of room on this PCB. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. What do I have? I've got power switch and reset switch. Oh, that's it, eh? All right, well, power is usually red, and there's no way green is power. So let's go ahead and plug reset into that. Oh, interesting. Apparently this case does not have a power LED. Huh. How about that? It also doesn't come with any additional cooling fans. Now that's a bit of a concern given that we're going to have a 2070 Super in here. I wonder if I could track down some kind of cooling fan from one of the other builds that we've got planned. Normally at the office, that wouldn't be a problem at all. All right, maybe I'll just grab something from chat to respond to, and then I'll head down there and see if I can find a fan. What do we got here? Earl Jones says, hello! All right, there's no way for me to reply to that, really. I've got links in the YouTube and Twitch pages of all the parts that I'm using. Or sorry, Twitch, Floatplane and YouTube have links. Charles says, given the chance, what would you have changed part-wise in the PC you're building right now? I mean, oh man, if I was trying to make it more value conscious, I'd go for a B450 motherboard. I'd probably go for some cheaper memory. I'd probably downgrade the power supply a little bit. There's so much room in this case. Look at all this room. Like, we're gonna throw a graphics card in here, but you got all this room hanging around here. So I might just go with a non-modular power supply since it doesn't really make a difference to performance. I could probably save without giving up much performance, like almost anything measurable, I could probably save myself a good couple $100 on this, but it wouldn't be quite as, you know, like baller awesome of a machine, so it's not as much fun to build on the channel. So that's always the kind of the weird balance we're trying to strike, right? Is we want to show you guys stuff that actually makes sense to buy, but a lot of the time people won't watch it if it's not like really cool and, you know, matte black PCB and, you know, RGB lighting and all of that stuff. So there's no way to please everybody, because we'd love to just build totally practical, you know, Toyota Corolla gaming machines all the time, that people can go and, you know, from a business standpoint even, use our affiliate links, and you know, we get additional revenue from that and all that good stuff. Like, if you guys don't buy the stuff we link to, there's actually a business effect that has on us. But obviously the most important thing is that we want people to want to watch the content. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We're always struggling to try to find the best possible balance there. I'm way out in the garage, and I really, really sincerely hope that you guys have an audio feed for me, but there's no guarantee of that whatsoever right now. Hey, the good news though is I found a cooling fan. Nice. This is actually for the next build stream that I have planned, or it might be the next one. I've got 2 more that I've got already in the queue right now, because honestly, these are kind of fun for me. Just going through, building a computer, hanging out on stream. So the one of the next, is that? Okay. Thank you, Canon autofocus. Had a little square on my face there for a second. Jeepers, what was I talking about? That was a little awkward. Right, yeah. So the one that I've got planned next is it's going to be my VR rig upgrade. So I'm going to go MATX. So basically the same specs that I'm already running, but more expansion, and I'm going to be water cooling it at the same time. And then the other one that I've got planned is actually finally an upgrade for our editors' workstations. So they've been running Core i7-6950Xs, I want to say, for almost 3 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about for 2 reasons. Like, one, how well those have kept up for 3 years, and then 2, how quickly they've been overtaken in the last year. So it's time for us to upgrade those. We're going to be going with 24-core Threadrippers, which they are going to be pretty stoked on. I think we're going with 128 gigs of RAM per station as well. So that's going to be flippin' awesome. And I'm going to be building the first one of those on stream. So that'll be fun. All right, so we've got options here. I can either throw an exhaust in the back, or I can throw an intake in the front. And the way that I would lean on a build like this is I would throw an intake on the front. That's going to give me positive pressure inside with a filtered intake, which means that I'm going to have less dust build up on the inside of my case. Now, if I was to use this machine for something that I would use it for, this is the perfect form factor. In fact, I had originally intended to use this to upgrade the VR machine, and it wasn't until recently that I decided that I wanted to go MATX that I just made this like a just kind of random portable gaming PC build. And for my application, I would especially go with a front intake because the bottom. So see this vented bottom that we got here, right there? In my media console, I've actually got 2 fans installed right under where that would be, and they're filtered fans that are installed in the cabinet themselves on the underside. So I would have filtered intake on the bottom, I would have filtered intake on the front, and then I would have really positive air pressure inside to keep dust from creeping into other places. So that would be the way that I would set it up. Let's go ahead and get this puppy installed. Let's see if there's any good messages in chat. Oh man, this range is like not quite enough for me to do it. Okay, there we go. What do we got here? Will Dennis build his own PC again? Can't wait to see him struggle. I don't know. I mean, it was real hard to watch when we did the remote control human project using the FPV goggles. I think Anthony's instructions could have been better. I think Dennis got shafted a little bit on that. I think if both Anthony and I, to eliminate variables, if we could have both used the same test subject, which we couldn't because they would have learned from the first time around, I think I could have beat him with Dennis against him with Dennis. But also, Dennis absolutely contributed to their team failure there. So I don't know. AN800 Mats asks, are mobile downloads coming to Floatplane soon? I have no idea. That is actually not a feature that we've gotten a ton of requests for, so I don't know how high of a priority that is for Luke and his team over there. I know this is a brown fan, and I know I talked about how awesome it is that Noctua's got like black fans now and stuff, and it's like super cool, but look, there. And it's black. See, we got this sorted out. Never mind that there's a window on this case. We just need to make sure that we never look at it like right from the side, right? As long as we look at it kind of from there, it's still black. It's all good. Titan Mechanism says, nope, I entirely blame Dennis. Yvonne did a great job. She really did. She really did. She's a rock star. I remember she used to get kind of upset back in the day when people would make comments like on Moving Vlog or something, they'd be like, yep, you can tell that's when a business is going down, when the boss brings the wife to work and she's bossing everyone around. Like, people clearly didn't realize that Yvonne was not a nepotism hire. She ended up working for the company just because, like, she wanted to keep her own job. She ended up working for the company just because she's so useful and she's so good at doing stuff. And she has worked for the company from day zero. Like, from day negative numbers. Yvonne has been shooting Linus Tech Tips videos since before Luke ever joined Linus Tech Tips. You know, going back to ones from like 8, 9, 10 years ago, she's the one operating the camera in some of those cases, especially when I'm shooting at home. Like, it's not like I could hold it myself. All right, what else we got here? Oh my goodness, it's so... the Light Silence says, male to female ratio of LTT. I'm just trying to remember. I think Sarah's passed her probation. So we've got, oh man, just trying to remember. We've got so many people working at the company now that, like, I kind of have to stop and think about it. 1, 2, 3. We have at least 4 women. Just trying to remember if there's any other ones. We have one that we're kind of in the process of hiring, but it's sort of stalled because she's overseas, so I don't know like where that's at. But ones that are actually on the roster right now, we've got 4 out of 30, so about 10%. I will tell you that that's not a great ratio from like a, you know, Justin Trudeau government standpoint, but it is more than representative of the percentage of female applicants that we get. So there's like kind of a limit to what we can do there. No, it's 4 women out of 30, so it's about a 1 to 6, about a 1 to 6 ratio if I'm doing the math correctly. Is that it? Oh, right, graphics card. I almost forgot. The best part. Here we go. All right, 2070 Super Time, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like there's a bit of a trick to getting the PCI slots uncovered on this case. We're just going to go ahead and thumb screws that come so tight from the factory that you can't undo them. Like, what's the point? So we're going to pop this off. And we're going to go ahead and undo the top 2 slots here. One other cool thing about a DTX case like this is even if you're using an ITX board, you can actually install up to a triple slot graphics card. Those are out there. So something like a triple slot graphics card with a couple of slim fans in the bottom of this case, or in a configuration like mine where I've got those external fans that are going to blow air up through the bottom of it, would mean basically zero compromise. Is this going to fit? 0 compromises on cooling. Holy banana sacks. If this doesn't fit, I wasn't even worried about the GPU. Oh man. Oh man. Wait for it. Okay. I might need to pull the fan out of the front there. That's what I'm jammed on right now. Come on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hold on. Wait for it. Oh yes. Okay, that was really close. This is ridiculous. Okay, my audio cable is kind of getting in the way there. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Whew. That was a tight fit. The entire bottom of the case is pretty much graphics card. That's it. Ridiculous. Okay, well, I had options. It wasn't even that bad. I could have pulled this fan. That would have made it a little bit easier. I could have pulled the heatsink. That would have given me a little bit more room to finagle it in there. We got it though. We got it. It's all good. Jeez. Oh, okay. I love that. I love to have a little bit of stress in my life, you know? Like, what would life be without a little bit of stress? Keep your heart pumping, you know? Oops, I slipped. It's okay, it's a minor slip. All right, now I get to put that little cover doodad in there. Nice. How does this go in? Wait, I thought this was on the outside. Oh boy, is this supposed to go in from the inside? Oh, I don't think that's going in. Wait, can he do it? Oh, he can. Yes, he can. No problem, ladies and gentlemen. I am so hungry. She brings this plate, some of you who weren't here, that face tracking thing. I don't know how often that's coming up, but nothing I can do about it right now, I don't think. Yvonne comes up earlier offering me lunch, and it's like meatballs and gravy and stuff. And I'm like, yes, yes, I would love to eat that. It's all I can think about this whole time I've been streaming now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and tuck that cable right over there out of the way. Go ahead and tuck this extra length graphics card cable down there. Man, we barely even have to do any cable management in this thing. Got like 3 cables. This is great. There we go. Nice. Nice. Real nice. Look at that. Portable. A lot of extra space in there. Definitely could have gone with like a front 120mm AIO. That could have been done pretty easily. Or like a rear 140 for the CPU and like a front 120 for the GPU. You could probably get away with something like that in here if you're willing to work for it a little bit. But look at that. Basically no cable management required. That is one of the nice things about a modular power supply, for sure. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear up some of this stuff, and then maybe we should fire this puppy up, shall we? Ooh, at least I actually did not think of this before the stream, and I really should have, because last time I ran into exactly the same problem. I do not have a particularly convenient way to hook up a monitor to it and show you guys what I'm seeing. Let me give it a little bit of thought. So I've got SDI capture over there. I've got HDMI capture over there, but the HDMI feed is coming from that camera. This does not have SDI out, so I couldn't sacrifice that camera to this unless, because that camera also has an SDI output, I switched which capture card I was using, eliminated the color correction profile that I'm using on that one, because that one I have in like a Rec 709 profile that doesn't need OBS color correction. And then I could go HDMI into this, and then I could kind of look at my monitor on my computer over there and use it like that. Eh? Eh? We got a plan, ladies and gentlemen? Let's do it. Okay, so you're gonna feel a slight pinch here. Oh! No. Okay, hold on a second. No, because that will kill our audio, because I'm using the audio into that camera over HDMI, and the AVIO, my SDI one, does not support that. But, new plan. Okay, new plan. It's okay, we've got this. We've got this. I've got an HDMI cable here, okay? And I'm gonna plug that in. Here we go. Hey kiddo, what's up? Can you help? Well, I don't know if you could help in the useful sense of the word, but you could be present and perhaps. Okay, hold on a second. I need to give the people an update real quick here. Okay, I also have an AVIO 4K. So if what I do is I plug into this, and then just kind of run this over here, and then kill the AVIO SDI. Okay, but it's very exciting. It's very exciting, I assure you. Then what we're going to do is we're going to plug this into. Yes, I came up with something that you can do. Do you want to wait? Nope. never mind, I don't need that done. Okay, so I've got a power bar on this C-stand for the camera over here. So I'm just going to run to that. That's powering this camera that we will no longer need. Okay, there we go. So there you go. See, I've got it all just kind of plugged in off camera over there. I'd love to show you guys, you know, the pretty side of the machine while it runs, but you know, life doesn't always work out that way. Ah, here, upside down. There you go. There. So there's our machine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see if it just fires up for us. What are the odds? What are the odds that it's going to just like magically, oh no, 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 no. Oh, good, it's plastic. Okay. I thought there was something under there that was going to scratch the finish of the top of the case. That would have, oh, that would have been instant regret. What are the odds that this is just going to fire up? Well, we can't reach the power button, so that's a downer. There we go. Okay, give me 1 second, darling. I need to add a scene, video capture device, create new, AVIO 4K. All right. What are the odds? Let's hope for the best here. If I was plugged into a monitor, I would be able to know for sure, you know, why I'm not getting a signal. The fact that I'm going through a capture card means that I kind of have to guess. So I could be not getting a signal. Hey! Or I could just be totally getting a signal. How about that? Okay. I think I might have screwed something up here, though. AVIO 4K. Hold on, this one. There we go. Hey, 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 hey! Look at that! Oh, man. What a pro. What a pro this guy is. Okay, yes, I do have a job for you, my child. See this blue cable right here? That is an Ethernet cable. It's plugged into the back of your computer in your room. Can you unplug it and bring me the end of it? Thank you, sir. Darling, can you go in the door or out the door? Because I need to close this door. What? No, you can come in or go out. You just can't stand right in the doorway because I need to go get a keyboard and mouse. Gotta squeeze through here. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the keyboard and mouse from my server room here, server closet. Nice. Oh, man. We are problem solvers today. No, I actually can't help you. That's sort of the way it works when you ask if you can help me, is you're the one doing the helping. I need you to unplug that thing and then bring it here. Okay, well, I think you got it sorted out, right? Did you get it out from under the sandbag? Apparently my fetch quest for him was one of those, man, I'm just trying to think of a game that's like that, where you get like a seemingly totally simple quest, and then like it turns out there's all these hoops you have to jump through. There was a sandbag on the Ethernet cable, apparently. Thank you, good sir. What a fantastic help you have been. Legitimately. Legitimately. Not like the kind of help where your kids are like, oh, can I help make breakfast? And you're like, oh, gee, I was kind of hungry and really wanted to eat, but sure, I guess you can help make breakfast. Not that kind, the other kind. All right, keyboard. Yes. So once again, any experiences that I'm having on this computer are going to be through a capture card in a window on a monitor, on my monitor, or over in that corner. So I'm going to try not to judge it too harshly. But, oh, hold on a second. Let me just try to think what kind of pin I might have on this one. Is that it? Oh, that ain't it. Okay, how about that? Oh, that's not it. I actually can't even tell from here if it's asking for a pin or a password. Is there anything? Yeah, can you check? Does it say pin or password?
Password?
It says password.
It says password hint.
No, that's fine. I don't want the hint. Okay, cool. It says welcome? All right, we got this. Okay, cool. Nice. Is it the yes or the no on the left there in that blue thing?
On the left?
Yeah.
That's not on the left, that's on the right.
Yeah, but on the right. But is the yes the one on the left or the right?
The yes is on the left.
Yes is on the left? All right, I got this. All right, cool. Yes! Yes, we are in business! And the system just booted right up. Like, what are the odds? 2 streams in a row. The system's just fire up. Oh, apparently you guys can see the hint anyway. All right, good stuff.
It says update is available.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay. Then push no.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. It's just that this is a little challenging. Okay, I have a really tough task for you. No, wait, this is too tough. This is too tough of a task.
What is it?
No, it's fine. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. Okay, so we need to go over to our PC build B-roll scene. We need to add a new video capture device, existing AVIO 4K bloop. Hey, there we go. Nice. Okay, cool. So now my A scene is this, my B scene is this. All right, I might even be able to read that from over here. Okay. This was a big... Oh, this door's opening again. How's this door keep opening? This was a big advantage to doing this on the TV last time around, was I was actually able to see what I'm doing. All right, so that's kind of usable. Let's go ahead and turn my mouse sensitivity down a little bit. All right, nice. What do you guys want to do? Here, I'm gonna go to float plane chat first here. Ask for a water bottle from lttstore.com. Oh, right. Nick actually messaged me earlier. He's like, hey, did you pimp lttstore.com yet? I was like, no, I actually didn't. Do you mind passing me my phone, please?
Yeah.
He's probably got like, something that's back in stock or like some kind of promo we're doing or something like that I'm supposed to tell you guys about. I've got Brian the electrician. 2-month-old gas is fine, haha. I know that. The issue is that under normal circumstances, I burn through the gas in my Volt once every 1 to 2 months. The way I'm driving right now, it could take 6 months. I'm well aware. All right, let's have a look here. Oh no, all he said was lttstore.com. Oh, he did send me a message earlier that apparently we're going to do a sample of a pink and white water bottle to see if it looks any good. In the meantime, though, we've got our regular water bottles. Actually, here, do you mind throwing me that water bottle? I can show the peeps. It's on the table there where I'm pointing. Follow my finger. See my finger? Follow it to where it goes. Hey, there it is. Nice. Just don't unplug any of those cables because we've got a very precarious situation going on over here. Is there water in there by any chance?
Yes.
I am so thirsty. Thank you. All right. Good helping. So lttstore.com, get your own water bottle so you have nice and, clean water. Cold. That's the word I was looking for. Not clean, cold. If you put dirty water into this water bottle, it'll stay dirty. But it'll also stay cold. All right. So what do you guys want?
To play a game?
Okay. So the kids vote for game. What do you guys vote for? Okay, everyone on stream is voting for something else here. All right, I want both of you kids to close your eyes for a minute, okay? Both of you have to close your eyes. All right. All right, here you go, you weirdos. No, both my kids, close your eyes. Uh-oh, oh, look at that. No, both my kids, close your eyes. See, it's fake. It's fake. There's nothing in there. Everybody just chill. Okay, you're good. Okay, we got people asking for Minecraft RTX. Oh, unfortunately, that's going to be far too much of a hassle to set up right now. So I was running Minecraft RTX on my son's machine. Wait, what was I running it on? I was running it on my VR rig. I brought it up from downstairs because my son's machine has a 5700 XT. Why don't we start by just getting logged into Steam here, and then we'll go from there. Just gotta type in my lap. Hopefully that is the right password. I don't know if I can actually remember very well. Oh, I kind of wish I had me in a little corner on that one, but I have to go back over there and set it up. All right. Yeah, my password is all stars. Yeah, you guys got me. You got me. All right, let's see how well this machine runs. Oh man, this is really tough. I can't really talk to you guys. You know what? We're just going for it. We're just switching to screen cap here. So I had some requests for Apex. Is Apex actually installed on here? Is there anything on the desktop that says Apex Legend? That's okay. That's Lightroom. So we could do that, but we won't. Let's go ahead and close that. Okay, you guys got to pick stuff that's actually installed on here, you nerds. You're killing me here. Oh, I'm not calling you guys nerds. I'm talking to the people who are watching at home. Is this Anno? We can fire up Anno. Okay. Hey, there it is. All right. You know what? We're firing up Anno. I'm just gonna pick my own stuff because you guys are killing me here. Shadow the Tomb Raider. Yeah. See, a man after my own heart. All right, we're going with Anno. While I wait for Uplay to do its annoying garbage, let's go ahead and get the panels installed on this case because that's what you get to do once it actually boots up.
It says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device?
Do I want to allow the app to make changes? So this is really important when you install this panel on the back. You're going to want to make sure the perforations are over by your power supply's exhaust. If anyone's actually still trying to follow along with building the computer instead of just straight memeing, which seems to be what this stream has turned into at this point. All right, there we go. So we'll pop that on. Windowed side panel. I want to throw this on just because I want to get some idea what our thermals are looking like. Yeah, it's got to be this way. It's got to be right. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to put this front panel on. Everything's upside down for me because I've got the system mounted upside down, but minor details. Next time I'm going to think of this. What if I actually decide to turn the computer on? Ooh, we got a peel. That's an appealing proposition. Does anyone want to help me peel this plastic? Oh, hold on. Well, we're gonna let her help because you already got to help. Okay, come on over here, darling. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this in place, and you've got to peel this plastic off. Can you do that? Mm-hmm. Good helping. It's pretty tough, isn't it? Need two hands? Go for it. You got this. It's pretty tough, isn't it? Are you strong enough? Ooh! Ooh! Okay. Hold on. Ugh. Oh, she's pulling pretty hard. Okay, go ahead. Oh. Oh. There you go.
How come you didn't just keep it off while you fold it off? Instead of putting it
Well, I could do that, yes. Nice! Thank you. Good helping. All right. There we go. We get signal.
Don't give it to me. Put it in the garbage.
Yes is on the left, right? Okay, is the game launching or what? Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm just trying to remember. Don't even bother emailing this email address, by the way, guys. I get so much spam that it's like not even funny. Trust me, I will not see your email. And I'm definitely going to set that up as soon as I'm done with this because now you all know that that's not on there. What? Update available? I don't want to. Oh, man. No, I don't want to update. Why? So this is what happens. The instant you try and do something live, it's the worst. It's the worst. All right, I should probably go through a couple super chats. Front fan, what are you talking about? Is it not spinning? It's spinning. What are you guys talking about? Fan. What are you talking about? Fan not working. Fan is totally working. So I will explain that to you guys here. Hold on. The type of fan that I'm using is, this is one of Noctua's NFF12s. And it's got these little, like airflow channel-y doodads over here. So check this out. See? That fan is absolutely spinning. These are just to help the airflow kind of like go like in like a vortex away from the fan. It makes them better for like directed airflow. It's actually a reasonably common feature. I don't want to say common, but it's not unique to those fans. Silverstone's air penetrators have something similar, and there's other ones as well. So yes, that fan is definitely working. I did not forget to plug it in. It's all good. Bam. Y'all got bammed. Hello. Please change scene. I'm dying. All right. Yes, again, how many times do you need permission to... I'm just trying to play my game. Like, guys, this is PC gaming, okay, in the 21st century. It's like, it's painful. What is it even doing right now? I can't even tell.
It's installing.
DirectX end user runtimes. Oh, good. I was hoping to have the right number of DirectX end user runtimes. I just want to know if this thing works well. All right, viewer activity. Let's go through. Let's do some super chats here, all right? Dang, there's a lot of super chats. You guys are super. There's too many. I can't read them all. Sorry. Sorry in advance to everyone who super chat I don't read. Oh man, I'm just trying to maximize this window, and it is hurting. My poor laptop. Okay, thanks, Kevin Ip. You sent the first super chat of the stream. Magnus Hurst says, pumped to see the build. I used the exact same case last week. I found a 2080 Ti OC gets very hot though with the glass next to it. Yes, I would think so. What you could do to deal with that though is you could add a slim, you could add something like a slim exhaust or intake on the bottom, or a couple of them, and then you'd be forcing just a ton of airflow into that graphics card and also a ton of air into the case, and it would allow it to have positive pressure and kind of passively exhaust. So that would be pretty sweet. I had a bunch of super chats about no audio. Yes, we got that sorted out a couple hours ago. Michael says, where would you recommend someone who wants to learn about hardware and PC building? Really? You for real right now? What else we got? Gordon McPherson. Okay, in all seriousness, though, there's lots of good written sites as well. Linus Tech Tips Forum, great place to go hang out and start learning. Just ask questions. There's no dumb questions, just dumb people. Gordon McPherson, that motherboard's awesome, no complaints. Dual NVMe is awesome, and the back mount's really good. All right, good to know, Gordon. So at least I know that I can recommend it with a straight face, so that's good. Oh, one thing we actually haven't done yet is even set the XMP profile. Oh well, I think that ship sort of sailed at this point. Tommy Gunn says, may I ask what happened to the LTT Minecraft server? You were building a render server in its case. Please explain. Excellent question. So that server worked really well and was super fast. But the problem is that most data centers don't let you just send your own rando hardware into them. So we weren't able to find one that was willing to allow us to have that machine be the actual server. So we ended up just paying for normal hosting. So we tore down that machine and we decided to reuse it for a render server where it will actually be deployed for our workflow at the office, because it's like, I don't know, 30-40% faster than our old machine or something stupid like that. What else we got here? Mike says, can you make a web developer build video? Sure, go buy a Mac. I heard that developers love them. I mean, beyond that, just like a high performance machine with like lots of monitors is kind of what you're looking for. Chris says, yo, can you do a server build with products from Alibaba? I mean, hey, that's an idea. It's something. I've never looked into server parts on Alibaba. I would have to do a little bit more exploration. James G says, I'll donate 10 more if you drop something now. I'm sure I dropped something at some point in the stream, so you owe me 10 bucks. Phelan says, any reason why you opted for the Gigabyte X570 over other options? I like Gigabyte, just curious. Well, their ITX X570 is excellent. Like, good mix of features, reasonable price for X570. I mean, X570, the only real benefit of it is PCIe Gen 4, which right now doesn't have a clear benefit. And I mean, outside of some like data-centric GPU applications, which, let's face it, you're not doing that on here. And then like multi-GPU, which again has no benefit for an ITX build. James says, thanks for being you. Thanks for being you, James. Infinity Tech, no, the beard probably isn't going to stay in the very long term. What do you think, kiddo? Should I keep the beard or no?
Maybe.
Maybe? Well, you got to provide your rationale. You can't just say maybe and leave everybody hanging like that.
No then.
No then. Well, that changed in a hurry.
Game is being launched right now.
Yeah, I'll deal with the game later. That's okay. They like watching that game thing there. I'm just doing my my super chats. Hazard says, speaking of the Volt, when are we getting more car tech videos? Soon. So if you're not subscribed already, go subscribe to Short Circuit. I'm going to have a video upcoming. Ooh, wow, I just almost leaked an NDA'd product. I'm going to have a video there, and it will contain some teasers for more car content. Whew, that was close. Donovan says, I have a 9900K and 2080 Ti in 1000D. Is it worth throwing in a mini ITX for the heck of it? Well, you already apparently have too much money to spend, and so sure, why not? I mean, really, it's down to you, Donovan. If you need another machine, then I guess so. Personally, I would prefer a smaller main rig and then a small secondary rig that I could then separate if I wanted to, or I could just stack them on top of each other if I wanted to. Cooler Master actually did a kind of similar concept to that. Super dumb case. I forget what it was called. It was like some half series. Cooler Master half XB, was that the one? Where it had like, no, that wasn't the one. That was their Air 540 clone. Man, what was it? Stacker ITX. Oh, was it the half 915R? Yeah, that thing was super dumb. Yeah, sorry, I can't screen share with you guys right now. But here's Hardware Canucks video about it. They do such a good job with their case videos. Here's 2 ads on the Hardware Canucks video about it. Okay, forget it. I'm not going to bother then. But yeah, it was like a main case, and then you could have like a NAS, like in like a super skinny one at the bottom, and then like your stream machine at the top or something. And so you could have up to 3 of them. It was really bizarre. Eddie says, I have a Ryzen 7 on a B450 with an RTX 2070, and my idle temps are 120 to 130, and my gaming temps are 150 to 170. What? Are we talking Fahrenheit, Eddie, from New York, or are we talking like your temp sensors are broken? Because your system wouldn't be on if your temps were that high, and we're talking Celsius. Yeah, sorry. That's a great question to post on the forum, though. People would be able to answer that for you right quick fast. Cadfoot, thank you. Mr. Fats, thank you. Daniel, can you tell me if my PC specs are okay for high-level gaming? Also, if it pairs well with an Alienware 34-inch curved gaming monitor. Well, Daniel, if you had actually sent your PC specs, that would be a little bit easier. Once again, though, you can post on the forum, and that'll get that all sorted out for you. All right, just going to do a couple more. Peter D says, thanks, Linus. You look like Peter Schnabel. I have no idea who Peter Schnabel is, but I will take that as a compliment. And, oh man, this is like some kind of Russian script or something. So I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but what happened with your home setup? Did you keep the server with the VMs and optical hubs? I did keep the optical hubs, but I have my regular machines in that closet now. I said in that video that like the virtualization in one room splitting out to everywhere is like highly experimental, and it was a little temperamental. We got it working long enough for the video, but it's not the kind of thing that I would daily drive. What I do intend to do, though, at some point is move my VR setup, which is downstairs, upstairs. So we've already got the dual DisplayPort optical connections running through the walls. I just want to tidy up that a little bit. I want to get that dead squirrel out of the crawl space. I'm actually going to have someone come in and give me a quote on redoing the insulation in my attic because it's really, really bad. I thought about doing it myself, but I kind of want to do spray foam, but then it's like really expensive, and if you do it yourself wrong, you can have all kinds of like off gassing, and it's like poisonous or something. So what I'll probably end up doing is blown cellulose, but then by the time I go and rent the machine, compared to just having someone come and do it for me and like learning how to use it, I'm kind of sitting there going, I think my time would be better spent doing some other improvements in the attic, including redoing cable management, getting all those optical runs, getting a couple new Ethernet runs. I want one over to my kids' room. And then I can do that while they're working on that. And then my whole attic crawl space will be beautiful and perfect and immaculate. And yeah, I think that's probably the route I'm going to go. Yes, my darling, what can I do for you?
What dead squirrel is there
Oh,
in the crawl space?
I shouldn't have brought that up. Well, there's a dead squirrel in the crawl space in our house.
Why?
Why? Well, because it crawled in there and died.
How did it die?
I honestly don't know how it died. Maybe it just lost the will to live.
Lost what?
Yeah, maybe it just didn't want to be alive anymore. Maybe it died of old age. Or maybe it got in a fight with a porcupine and it lost.
There is no porcupines in your crawl space.
That's true, but the porcupine, if it won, well, it's not dead, so it could have left, right? Just processing that one.
Then how come they went inside?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they wanted a nice warm place to fight.
Why did they want to fight anyway?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. All I know is that there's a dead squirrel. Everything else we're just guessing at. All right. Cool. People are typing F, but I'm not sure if they're just talking about the conversation with my daughter or if they're talking about just, yeah, everything. All right. Cool. And I think that's going to be it for Super Chats. Let's go ahead and see if this thing actually runs games. Wait, is the game gone?
Yes, it was gone for like 15 minutes.
Gone for 15 minutes?
I didn't tell you because you weren't talking.
What the heck? What is this? What's going on here?
I don't know.
What happened? Is it launching now?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We got this. No problem.
Loading. It says quickly adjust your audio.
Quickly adjust my audio. What you talking about, Willis?
It disappeared now.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's just game stuff. Okay, cool. Oh, darling, you're not going to be able to use that thing right now. Because I'm using that computer to stream right now. So if you are talking into the microphone on it and playing around with audio effects, then it would probably not be that great. Oh, it's F for respects for the dead squirrel. Yes. I actually don't know if that made it into the video. Wait, what is this? What am I looking at?
I don't know.
Did I accidentally click something?
No. It was doing this when you first launched it too.
Was it?
Yes.
What? What is this? Oh, wait, is it?
I think it's showing you around.
Pressing escape is restarting whatever this is. I have no idea what I'm looking at, you guys. What is this?
I don't know.
Timing info. Oh, I accidentally launched the benchmark. Well, there's your problem. Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's fine. We're running a benchmark. Okay. You know, it's funny, like, I play this game all the time, but because it's a game I actually play, rather than one that I just use to test computers, it never even occurred to me to fire up the benchmark for it. All right, cool. Well, I don't have hardware info running in the background, so that might be a good idea. Let's just go ahead and do that. We've already heated it up a little bit. Do I have hardware info on here? Please tell me I do. Please tell me it's a shortcut on the desktop. I don't see it. Hey, there we are. Yes. Nice. Run. Yeah, I think that's right. Nice. What does that say? Is this something about updates? Don't care about that right now. All right, cool. So let's run that benchmark then. Oh, no, that's no good. That's not what I want. So is it going to default to the benchmark again? I think so. Neat. Well, that all worked out just peachy, didn't it? I can actually comment on, I can actually comment on acoustics a little bit here, though. So that's interesting. This might be a little bit non-representative because we've got these intake fans on the GPU down here that are able to pull this nice fresh air without any restriction. So maybe we should try to flip over the system while we're running here. Overall, it is nice and quiet. I have no idea what settings this benchmark is running at, by the way, guys. So like, we're all just experimenting right now. Wait. Oh, it manages to not launch the benchmark this time. Of course not. All right. Fine. Yeah, that's my save game that I've been using. This is the one that I don't care about, that I just fire up if I just want to like run a game for a little bit. Look, guys, I never claimed to be good at this stuff, okay? All right? I'm just making it up as I go. Look, there's no like class for how to be a professional YouTuber, all right? Or maybe there is, but I didn't take it, obviously. If I don't know it exists, I couldn't possibly have taken it. All right. All right. How's our economy doing, kiddo? Do we have money?
What's money? Money is 74,000.
This one. Are we making money or are we losing money? We're losing money. Okay, that's a bummer. All right. Do we have some ships? Maybe we could just go to war. You know, start a good old-fashioned war. Are these warships? Do they look like warships to you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It looks like they have guns inside of them.
All right. Let's go. Oh boy. I really can't see very well. All right, let's go fire the cannons. You know, I had some people kind of hating on me for using this game as like a performance benchmark at some point. You know, it's pretty demanding, actually. I'm seeing a little bit of chugging on the 2070 Super, but I've enabled an extra option in the game that allows you to zoom out more. So you're usually locked to like around this view, which I find very restrictive. And it allows me to zoom out way more, which makes it a little bit easier to plan out your islands and stuff like that. But also makes it so that it chugs a little harder. Wait, is my ship dying?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why didn't you say something?
I didn't see it.
Oh, man. Well, now what? Wait, are they all gone? Oh, that was quick. Well, rip.
You said this was the one you didn't care about.
Rip that ship. Yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter. Well, that's okay. Well, there you go, guys. That's it. Definitely a little louder, but wow, that's a lot quieter than my current stream machine. Fortunately, I'm going to be going water cooling on that, so not worried about that. Wow. Yeah, that's one advantage to going with an overkill power supply. The fan's not even spinning, even though we're gaming on this thing right now. Love it. All right, well, thank you guys very much for tuning into the stream today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And holy crap. I just realized I never told you about our sponsors for the video today. Derp. So this video is brought to you by Massdrop, or Drop.com, excuse me. The Massdrop and Sennheiser PC37X gaming headset. Great bet for a fantastic gaming headset. It's got angled drivers and an open back design. The drivers come from the same family as the HD 600 series of headphones, so that means great stereo imaging and locational accuracy. Comes with a noise canceling microphone. They've sold over 40,000 of these things. They're just a fantastic option for an audiophile grade headset. And new users over on Drop.com are going to get $20 off their purchase if it's over 50 bucks. So you can find the link to that in the video description. And the video is also brought to you by Thermal Grizzly. Thermal Grizzly's Conductonaut liquid metal thermal interface material offers maximum cooling performance for your PC. We even used it in a phone once. Wouldn't recommend that. And also make sure you don't use too much, but when you apply it right, yes, it's absolutely fantastic. It's like nothing else. So we're going to have that linked in the video description as well. Hopefully both of those sponsors forgive me for burying their reads an hour and 45 minutes into a video. That's okay. They're both, good guys. I'm sure they'll get over it. And we're done here.